Dear students, now let us understand about factors and multiples. Dear students, now let us discuss about the factors. Let us take an example. To find the factors of a given number, we can write that number as the product of two numbers. Let us take an example. We took a number 6. We can write 6 as 6 multiplied by 1. We can write 6 as 1 multiplied by 6. We can also write 6 as 2 multiplied by 3, and we can also write 6 as 3 multiplied by 2. From this we can see that 6 and 1 exactly divides 6, and 2 and 3 also exactly divides 6. That means 1, 2, 3 and 6 are the factors of 6. Dear students, note that a factor of a number is an exact divisor of that number. Every number is a factor of itself. 1 is a factor of every number. Every factor of a number is less than or equal to the given number. Dear students, now let us discuss about the multiples. For that, let us take an example. We can say that 4 multiplied by 5 is equal to 20. In this, we can say that 4 and 5 are the factors of 20, and 20 is a multiple of 4 and a multiple of 5. That means 4 is a factor, 5 is also a factor of 20, but 20 is a multiple of 4 as well as 5. Hence, we can say that a number is a multiple of each of its factors. Now, let us write the multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 are all the multiples of 3. We can also write the multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16 and so on. The list is endless. So we can write the multiples of any numbers in this way. Note that every number is a multiple of each of its factors. Every multiple of a given number is greater than or equal to that number. Every number is a multiple of itself. Dear students, we know that the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6. Now, if we add these factors 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6, we get 12 as the answer. Now we can see that the sum of the factors of 6 is double that number. That means 12 is equal to 2 into 6. Hence, we can say that a number for which the sum of all its factors is equal to twice the number is called a perfect number. Hence, 6 is a perfect number. I hope that you can also find some other perfect numbers. Dear students, now let us do some problems to understand the concepts thoroughly. Dear students, let us take an example. Write all the factors of the following numbers. First number is 24. We can write 24 as 1 multiplied by 24. We can write this as 2 multiplied by 12. We can also write this as 3 multiplied by 8. And we can also write this as 4 multiplied by 6. So we can see that the factors of 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12 and 24. Now 15 can be written as 1 multiplied by 15, 3 multiplied by 5 and 5 multiplied by 3. So we can see that the factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5 and 15. Now 21 can be written as 1 multiplied by 21, 3 multiplied by 7 and 7 multiplied by 3. So we can easily see that the factors of 21 are 1, 3, 7 and 21. Now 27 can be written as 1 multiplied by 27, 3 multiplied by 9 and 9 multiplied by 3. Hence, the factors of 27 are 1, 3, 9 and 27. Dear students, now let us write the first 5 multiples of 8 and 9. So the first multiple of 8 is 8 multiplied by 1, which is equal to 8. The second multiple of 8 is 8 multiplied by 2, which is equal to 16. Third multiple is 8 multiplied by 3, that is 24. Fourth multiple is 8 multiplied by 4, which is 32. And the fifth multiple is 8 multiplied by 5, that is 40. So the first 5 multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32 and 40. Now let us write the multiples of 9. The first multiple of 9 is 9 multiplied by 1, that is 9. Then 9 multiplied by 2, that is 18. 9 multiplied by 3, that is 27. 9 multiplied by 4, that is 36. And 9 multiplied by 5, that is 45. Hence, the first 5 multiples of 9 are 9, 18, 27, 36 and 45. Dear students, now let us discuss about prime and composite numbers. Let us consider few numbers. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 and observe the number of factors of these numbers arranged in this table. There are numbers having exactly 2 factors, 1 and the number itself. Such numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, etc. These numbers are prime numbers. Note that the numbers other than 1 whose only factors are 1 and the number itself are called prime numbers. And there are numbers having more than 2 factors like 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 and so on. These numbers are composite numbers. Note that numbers having more than 2 factors are called composite numbers. Dear students, note that 1 is neither a prime nor a composite number. Now let us try to find out some prime numbers less than 15. We know that 1 is neither a prime number nor a composite number. Now 2 is the prime number which is less than 15 because 2 has only 2 factors, that is 1 and 2. Now the next prime number is 3. We can say that 3 has again only 2 factors, that is 1 and 3. Now next prime number is 5. We know that there are only 2 factors of 5, that is 1 and the number itself, that is 5. The next prime number is 7 and the next prime number is 11 and the next prime number is 13. So these are the prime numbers which are lesser than 15. Dear students, now let us discuss about the even and odd numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and so on, which are multiple of 2, are called even numbers. And the rest of the numbers that are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and so on are called odd numbers. Dear students, if we are having a larger number, that is 3, 2, 5, 7, 4, then by looking at this number, we can say that the number is even or odd. So note that if the number has 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8 at its units place, then that number is an even number, otherwise it is an odd number. So we can see that in this number 4 is at its unit place. That means this number is an even number. Similarly, we can take some other examples. We can write a number 15721. Now we can see that the units place number is 1. Hence, it is an odd number. Dear students, note that the number 2 is the smallest prime number and is even. Every prime number other than 2 is odd. Dear students, now let us understand about the common factors and the common multiples. Dear students, let us consider two numbers 4 and 12. And let us try to find out their common factors. The factors of 4 are 1, 2 and 4. And the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. Now, let us see how many common factors 4 and 12 have. We can see that the common factors of 4 and 12 are 1, 2 and 4. Now let us consider one more pair of numbers. Let one number be 4 and another be 7. Let us try to find out their common factors. Now we can say that the factors of 4 are 1, 2 and 4, whereas the factors of 7 are 1 and 7. We can say that the only factor which is common in both 4 and 7 is 1. So the common factor of 4 and 7 is 1. Now remember that if two numbers have only 1 as a common factor, then these numbers are called co-primes. That means 4 and 7 are co-prime numbers. Two numbers with only 1 as a common factor are called co-prime numbers. Dear students, now let us discuss about the common multiples. We have considered two numbers 4 and 6. So the multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28 and so on. And the multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36 and so on. Now let us try to find out the common multiples in both the numbers. We can see that 12 is the common multiple in both the lists. Now the next common multiple is 24. So we can say that the common multiples are 12, 24 and so on. We can find some more multiples of 4 and 6 to find out some more common multiples. Dear students, now let us do some problems to understand the concepts thoroughly. Dear students, I hope you must have understood till now that what are even numbers and odd numbers. Now let us discuss what is the sum of any two odd numbers or any two even numbers. Let us take some examples. Odd numbers, when we take any two odd numbers like 1 and 3 and add them up, we will always get an even number. We can take some more examples. We can take the odd numbers like 17 and 3. So 17 is an odd number and 3 is also an odd number. Hence, the sum of these two will always be an even number. Hence, we can say that the sum of any two odd numbers is an even number. Now, let us check what will be the sum of two even numbers. Again, let us take some examples. We know that 4 is an even number and 6 is an even number. The sum of 4 and 6 will be 10, which is also an even number. Now, let us take one more example. 24 is an even number and 12 is also an even number. Now, let us add these two. What we will get? 36, which is also an even number. So, we got to know that the sum of two odd numbers is an even number and the sum of two even numbers is an even number. Dear students, I hope you must have understood about the prime and the composite numbers. Now let us take an example to understand it in a better way. Write down separately the prime and composite numbers less than 20. So the smallest prime number is 2. The next prime number less than 20 is 3 and the next prime number is 5 and the next is 7, then 11, then 13, then 17 and then 19. These are the prime numbers less than 20. Rest are the composite number, but remember that 1 is neither a prime nor a composite. Hence, the rest of the numbers will be 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 and 18. So in this way we can write the prime numbers and composite numbers less than 20. Now let us do some fill in the blanks. First, a number which has only two factors is called a prime number. Second, a number which has more than two factors is called a composite number. Third, 1 is neither a prime number nor a composite number. Fourth, the smallest prime number is 2. Fifth, the smallest composite number is 4. Sixth, the smallest even number is 2. Dear students, now let us do the tests for the divisibility of numbers. Dear students, if we take a number 8, we can easily say that this number is divisible by 2. But if we are given a larger number like this, 1, 5, 3, 2, 5, 6, can we say that this number is also divisible by 2? Let us see. There are some patterns, and by observing those patterns, we can check for the divisibility of numbers. Dear students, now let us discuss about the divisibility by 2. A number is divisible by 2 if it has any of the digits 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8 in its ones place. For example, the number 2410 has 0 at its ones place. So we can say that 2410 is divisible by 2. Now let us take one more example. The number 1358 has 8 at its ones place. So we can say that the number is divisible by 2. Let us take one more example. The number is 17531. So we can see that the numbers at the ones place is 1. Hence, this number is not divisible by 2. Dear students, now let us discuss about the divisibility by 3. If the sum of the digits is a multiple of 3, then the number is divisible by 3. Let us take few examples. Let the number be 36. Now, the sum of its digits are 3 plus 6, which is equal to 9, which is a multiple of 3. Hence, we can say that 36 is divisible by 3. Let us take one more example. Let the number be 54. Now, we can see that the sum of its digits is 5 plus 4, which is equal to 9, and which is a multiple of 3. Hence, 54 is also divisible by 3. Now, let us discuss the divisibility by 4. A number with 3 or more digits is divisible by 4 if number formed by its last 2 digits, that is ones and tens, is divisible by 4. Dear students, now let us take few examples to understand the divisibility by 4. Let the number be 4612. We can see that the last 2 digits, that is the ones and tens numbers, is 12, which is divisible by 4. Hence, we can say that 4612 is divisible by 4. Let us take one more example. 3516. We can see that 16 is divisible by 4. Hence, we can say that 3516 is divisible by 4. Now, let us discuss about the divisibility by 5. It is a very interesting divisibility rule. We can see that a number which has either 0 or 5 in its ones place is divisible by 5. We can easily recognize these type of numbers. Let us take few examples. 105, 215, 6205, 3500. These are all the examples which are divisible by 5. We can see that the numbers are having 0 or 5 at its ones place. Now, let us discuss the divisibility by 6. If a number is divisible by 2 and 3 both, then it is divisible by 6 also. Let us take some examples. Let the number be 18. We can see that 18 is divisible by both 2 and 3. Hence, we can say that 18 is divisible by 6 also. Now, let us discuss about the divisibility by 8. A number with 4 or more digits is divisible by 8 if the number formed by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8. For example, 9216. We can see that 216 is divisible by 8. Hence, 9216 is also divisible by 8. We can also check few more examples. We can take an example, that is 9995216. Now, we just have to look at the last 3 digits, that is 216. Again, we can say that 216 is divisible by 8. Hence, it is divisible by 8. Now, let us discuss the divisibility by 9. If the sum of digits of a number is divisible by 9, then the number itself is divisible by 9. let us take few examples to understand the divisibility by 9. The number is 18. We can see that the sum of its digits is 1 plus 8, which is equal to 9, which is divisible by 9. Hence, we can say that 18 is divisible by 9. Let us take one more example, 4608. Now, let us find the sum of the digits 4 plus 6 plus 0 plus 8. It is equal to 18. Now, we can say that 18 is divisible by 9. Hence, 4608 is divisible by 9. Now, let us discuss the divisibility by 10. If a number has 0 in the ones place, then it is divisible by 10. We can easily see that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1000, 3200, 7000, all the numbers are divisible by 10 because they have 0 in their ones place. Now let us discuss the divisibility by 11. To check the divisibility of a number by 11, the rule is find the difference between the sum of the digits at the odd places from the right and the sum of digits at the even places from the right of the number. If the difference is either 0 or divisible by 11, then the number is divisible by 11. Let us take few examples to understand the divisibility by 11. The number is 308. Now we can see that the sum of the digits at odd places from the right is 8 plus 3, which is equal to 11, and the sum of digits at the even places from the right is 0. Their difference is 11 minus 0, which is equal to 11. Hence, we can say that this number is divisible by 11. Let us take one more example, 61809. The sum of the digits at the odd places from the right is 9 plus 8 plus 6, which is equal to 23. And the sum of digits at the even places from the right is 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. Now the difference is 23 minus 1, which is equal to 22, which is a multiple of 11. Now we can say that 22 is divisible by 11. Hence, 61809 is also divisible by 11. Dear students, I hope you must have understood all the rules of divisibility. Now, let us do some more rules. Let us take one example, a number 24. We know that this is divisible by 8 and the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4 and 8. We can observe that 24 is also divisible by 1, is also divisible by 2, is also divisible by 4 and also divisible by 8. That means if a number is divisible by another number, then it must be divisible by all its factors. That means if a number is divisible by another number, then it is divisible by each of the factors of that number. Now let us consider one more number, that is 80. We can see that 80 is divisible by 4 and 5, and 4 and 5 are both co-prime numbers. Now we can also see that 80 is also divisible by the product of these two numbers, that is 4 multiplied by 5 is 20 and 80 is divisible by 20. Hence, we can say that if a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, then it is also divisible by their product. Now let us consider two more numbers, 16 and 20. We can see that both the numbers are divisible by 4. Now let us find their sum. 16 plus 20 is equal to 36. This number 36 is also divisible by 4. Hence, if two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their sum is also divisible by that number. Now let us consider two more numbers. Let the numbers be 35 and 20. We can see that both the numbers are divisible by 5. Now let us find their difference. We can see that the difference is 15, which is also divisible by 5. Hence, we can say that if two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their difference is also divisible by that number. Dear students, now let us do some problems to understand the concepts thoroughly. Dear students, I hope you must have understood the divisibility rules. Now let us check the divisibility of few numbers by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Let us take some numbers. Number is 128. Let us check the divisibility of this number by 2. To check the number's divisibility by 2, we just have to check the number at the units place. If the number is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then it is divisible by 2, otherwise it is not divisible by 2. In this case, the number is 8, hence it is divisible by 2. To check the divisibility of a number by 3, we have to add the numbers, that is, we have to add the digits of that number, that is 1 plus 2 plus 8, and check that the sum is divisible by 3 or not. In this case, it is not divisible by 3, hence the number 120 is also not divisible by 3. To check the divisibility of a number by 4, we just have to check that the number's last two digit is divisible by 4 or not. So we know that the number formed by the last two digits is 28 and 28 is divisible by 4. Hence, it is divisible by 4. To check the number's divisibility by 5, we just have to look at the units place number. That should be 5 or 0. In this case, it is not divisible by 5 because the number at the units place is 8. To check the divisibility by 6, we have to check whether the number is divisible by 2 and 3. But in this case, it is not divisible by 3, hence it is not divisible by 6. Now, to check the divisibility of a number by 8, we have to check that the numbers at the last three places should be divisible by 8. In this case, 128 is exactly divisible by 8, hence this number is divisible by 8. Now, to check the number's divisibility by 9, we again have to add the digits and check whether that addition of digits is divisible by 9 or not. Now, in this case, we have already found the sum, which is 11. So 1 plus 2 plus 8, which is equal to 11, is not divisible by 9. Hence, the number 128 is also not divisible by 9. So now let us check the divisibility by 10. Now we can see that the number at the units place is not 0. So it is not divisible by 10. To check the divisibility of a number by 11, we have to find the sum of digits at the even place and the sum of digits at the odd place from the right and take its difference. If that difference is either 0 or divisible by 11, then we can say that that number is divisible by 11. Now, the numbers from the right odd numbers are 8 and 1. So 8 plus 1 minus the numbers from the right at even places is only 2. So 8 plus 1 is 9 minus 2, which is equal to 7, which is not divisible by 11. Hence, the number 128 is also not divisible by 11. Now, let us check the divisibility of 275 by 2. We can easily see that the units place is 5, hence it is not divisible by 2. To check the divisibility by 3, just add the digits 2 plus 7 plus 5. That is 14, which is not divisible by 3, hence it is not divisible by 3. Now 4. 75 is not divisible by 4, hence it is not divisible by 4. To check the divisibility by 5, we just look at the units place number, that is 5, hence it is divisible by 5. To check the divisibility by 6, we have to check whether the number is divisible by 2 and 3, which is not divisible by 2 and 3, hence it is not divisible by 6. To check the divisibility by 8, we can simply divide this number by 8, which is not exactly divisible because these are the last 3 digits of the number. Hence, it is not divisible by 8. Now, to check the divisibility of this number by 9, we again have to add the digits 2 plus 7 plus 5, which is equal to 14. 14 is not divisible by 9, hence this number is not divisible by 9. To check the divisibility by 10, we just have to look at the numbers at the ones place, which is equal to 5, but we want the number should be 0, hence it is not divisible by 10. Now, to check the divisibility of the number by 11, we just have to add the numbers at the odds place from the right, which is 5 plus 2, and subtract the numbers at the even place from that, which is equal to 7 minus 7, which is equal to 0. Hence, this number is divisible by 11. Dear students, multiples of a given number. We have also learned about the prime numbers and the composite numbers. We have also discussed about the perfect numbers. Then we have discussed about the divisibility of a number by some given numbers. Dear students, now let us discuss about the prime factorization. Dear students, we know that when a number is expressed as a product of its factors, we say that the number has been factorized. Dear students, let us take an example. The number is 24. We can express 24 as 12 multiplied by 2. We can also express it as 6 multiplied by 4. We can also multiply 8 and 3 to get 24. That means 12 and 2 are the factors of 24. Similarly, 6 and 4 are the factors of 24, and 8 and 3 are also the factors of 24. Now, let us further simplify these factors. We can write 12 as 6 multiplied by 2 and multiply by 2 as it is. And further, after further simplifying, we can write 6 as 3 multiplied by 2. Now, this factor is reduced to a form which is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. Now, let us simplify the factor 6 multiplied by 4. Now, we can write 6 as 3 multiplied by 2 and 4 as 2 multiplied by 2. That means we are left with 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. Now, let us simplify 8 multiplied by 3, which is 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3. We can write 8 as 2 multiplied by 4. Now, we can further simplify it to write 4 as 2 multiplied by 2. So, we can write 8 multiplied by 3 as 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. You can see that in all these factorizations of 24, we ultimately arrive at only one factorization, 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. In this factorization, the only factors 2 and 3 are prime numbers. Such a factorization of a number is called a prime factorization. Dear students, now let us find the prime factorization of some numbers. Let us take some examples. 84. We take a number 84, and with repeated division, we will try to find the prime factorization of 84. We will first divide this number by the smallest prime, that is 2. If the number is even, then it is easily divisible by 2. So now we get 42 after dividing 84 by 2. Now again divide this number by 2, we get 21. Now 21 is not divisible by 2. Now we'll check to divide this number by the next prime number, that is 3. So this is divisible by 3. So we get the remainder as 7. Now 7 is a prime number. So 7 is divisible by 7 and the remainder is 1. So we found the prime factorization of 84. So we can write that 84 can be expressed as the product of its prime as 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 3 and multiply by 7. So we can also write this as 84 is equal to 2 square into 3 into 7. Dear students, now let us understand about the factor tree. We can write any number and draw branches of the tree like this, in which we can write few numbers like 10 and 9, which when multiply will give you this number, and these are the factors of this number. That means 10 multiplied by 9 is equal to 90. Now we can further factorize 9. So we get the sub branches as 3 multiplied by 3, and we can also divide 10 in two branches like 2 and 5. In the end, we left with the branches having only prime numbers. Then we can say that this is a prime factorization of 90. So we can write 90 is equal to 2 multiply by 5 multiply by 3 multiply by 3, which is a prime factorization of 90 using the factor tree. Dear students, now let us discuss about the highest common factor. Dear students, we know that the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6, and the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. There are some common factors. Those are 1, 2, 3 and 6. We can easily see that the highest of these common factors is 6. It is sometimes written as HCF, which is called highest common factor. It is equal to 6. Highest common factors of 6 and 12 is 6. It is also sometimes called GCD, which is greatest common divisor. Hence, we can say that the highest common factor, that is HCF, of two or more given numbers is the highest of their common factors. It is also known as greatest common divisor, that is GCD. Dear students, now let us try to find the HCF of few numbers using the prime factorization method. We can take some numbers as 12, 30 and 48. First of all, we will do the prime factorization of these numbers. First of all, we will do the prime factorization of 12, which is 12 is equal to 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 3, and the prime factorization of 30 is 2 multiply by 3 multiply by 5, and the prime factorization of 48 is 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 2 and multiply by 3. Now, there are some common factors in the three numbers, that is 2 and 3. These are the two factors which are the highest factor which are common in three numbers. Hence, the HCF of 12, 30 and 48 is 2 multiplied by 3, that is equal to 6. We can see that there is no other factor common in all the three numbers. Dear students, we know that the multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, etc. And the multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24 and so on. We can see that the common multiples of 4 and 6 are 12, 24, 36 and so on. And out of these common multiples, 12 is the least common multiple. Hence, the lowest common multiple, that is LCM of two or more given numbers, is the lowest or smallest or least of their common multiples. Dear students, now let us find the LCM of two numbers using the prime factorization method. The question is, find the LCM of 12 and 18. We know that the common multiples of 12 and 18 are 36, 72, 108, etc. and the lowest of these is 36. Now, let us find the LCM of these two numbers by the prime factorization method. The factors of 12 is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3, and the prime factorization of 18 is 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. In these prime factorizations, the maximum number of times the prime factor 2 occurs is 2. This happens for 12. Similarly, the maximum number of times the factor 3 occurs is 2. This happens for 18. The LCM of two numbers is the product of prime factors counted the maximum number of times they occur in any of the numbers. Thus, in this case, the LCM is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3, which is equal to 36. Dear students, now let us find the LCM of 40, 48 and 45. The prime factorization of 40 is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 and multiplied by 5. The prime factorization of 48 is 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3. And the prime factorization of 45 is 3 into 3 into 5. Now we can see that 2 appears maximum 4 times in the prime factorization of 48. Now we can see that 3 occurs maximum 2 times in the prime factorization of 45. Now we can see that 5 occurs maximum 1 time in the prime factorization of either 40 or 45. So we here write 5. Hence the LCM of 40, 48 and 45 is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 and multiplied by 5, which is equal to 720. Dear students, I hope you must have understood the concept of how to find HCF and LCM of any numbers. Now, let us discuss about the practical problems related to HCF and LCM. In many situations, we apply HCF and LCM in our day-to-day life. Now, let us understand that through some examples. Dear students, let us do few problems to understand the application of HCF and LCM. Renu purchases 2 bags of fertilizer of weights 6 kg and 15 kg. Find the maximum value of weight which can measure the weight of the fertilizer exact number of times. Now, here we have to see that either we have to calculate the HCF or LCM of two weights 6 kg and 15 kg. In this case, we have to find the maximum value of weight which can measure the weight of the fertilizer's exact number of times. So let us take few examples. Now, if we take the weight as 2 kg, then we can measure 6 kg weight exactly in 3 measures of 2 kg. But we cannot measure the weight of 15 kg using a 2 kg value because 15 is not the exact multiple of 2. Hence, we cannot use the 2 kg value of the weight. Now, let us think about a 3 kg weight. Now, we can see that the 3 kg weight can measure the 6 kg weight exactly in 2 number of times and the 15 kg weight in exactly 4 times. So, we can say that 3 is the maximum value of the weight which can measure the weight of fertilizer exact number of times. We can easily see that 3 is the HCF of 15 and 6. Hence, in this case, we have to calculate the HCF of 6 and 15. Now, let us find the HCF of 6 and 15 through prime factorization. We can see that the prime factorization of 6 is 2 into 3 and the prime factorization of 15 is 3 into 5. Now, the HCF of 6 and 15 is 3. Hence, 3 kg measure can measure the weight of the fertilizer exact number of times. Let us understand one more problem based on HCF. Two tankers contain 850 liters and 680 liters of kerosene oil, respectively. Find the maximum capacity of a container which can measure the kerosene oil of both the tankers when used an exact number of times. Dear students, you know that the required container has to measure both the tankers in a way that the count is an exact number of times. So, its capacity must be exact divisor of the capacities of both the tankers. Moreover, this capacity should be maximum. Thus, the maximum capacity of such a container will be HCF of 850 and 680. Now, let us find the HCF of 850 and 680. The prime factorization of 850 is 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5 and multiplied by 17. And the prime factorization of 680 is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 5 and multiplied by 17. Hence, we can see that the HCF of 850 and 680 is 2 multiplied by 5 and multiplied by 17. Hence, the HCF of 850 and 680 is equal to 170. Therefore, maximum capacity of a required container is 170 liters. It will fill first container in 5 and second container in 4 refills. Dear students, let us do another question to understand the LCM and HCF in a better way. 3 bells ring at intervals of 3, 5 and 10 minutes respectively. If they start ringing together at a time, after what time will they next ring together? In this case, we can see that first bell rings at an interval of 3 minutes. That means the first bell will ring at 3 minutes, then second time it will ring at 6 minutes, then third time at 9 minutes, then 12, then 15,
then 18, then 21, then 24, then 27, and then 30, and so on. Now the another bell will ring at 5 minutes. The second time it will ring at 10 minutes, then 15 minutes, then 20 minutes, then 25 minutes, and then 30 minutes. And the third bell rings at an interval of 10 minutes. That means first time it will ring at 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, and then 30 minutes. Now we can see that at 30 minutes these all three bells will ring together the next time. So in this case you can easily see that the number obtained is more than 3, 5, and 10. So we can eventually say that if we require a common number more than the given numbers, then we have to find the LCM in that case. That means the LCM of 3, 5, and 10 is the answer. Now the LCM of 3, 5, and 10 is 30. Hence, the bells will ring together again at 30 minutes. I hope the concept of LCM is clear. Let us do another problem on LCM.
Now let us do one more problem. In a morning walk, 3 persons step off together. Their steps measures 80 cm, 85 cm, and 90 cm respectively. What is the minimum distance each should walk so that all can cover the same distance in complete steps? The distance covered by each one of them is required to be the same as well as minimum. The required minimum distance each should walk would be the lowest common multiple of the measures of their steps. Now let us find the LCM of 80, 85, and 90. The prime factorization of 80 is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 and multiplied by 5. The prime factorization of 85 is 5 multiplied by 17. And the prime factorization of 90 is 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 and multiplied by 5. Hence, we can see that the LCM of 80, 85 and 90 is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 17, which is equal to 12240. Hence, the LCM of 80, 85 and 90 is 12240. Hence, the minimum distance each should walk so that all can cover the same distance in complete steps is 12240 centimeters. Dear students,